Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a really nifty new Theremin concerto. When was the last time you heard a Theremin concerto? Now, you know what a theremin is, don't you? It's that thing with antennas, and you wiggle your hands in front of it, and it makes noise. It makes notes. It was most famously used for film noir soundtracks by Miklos Rosa and people like that. It was invented by Leon Theremin, a Russian inventor who was later kidnapped by the KGB, and all kinds of weird things happened to him. And it's very similar to the Ondes Martineau. It has a similar tone. You can do glissandos and make strange, shimmery siren songs. Well, sirens, actually, is the operative term here, because the concerto is subtitled Sirens, isn't it? Sirens. And it is by that amazing thereminist. Actually, she's not performing it, but she is a thereminist, Dalit Hadass Warshaw. And it's performed by the Boston Modern Orchestra Project under Gil Rose. Really a phenomenal piece of music. I mean, it's easily the greatest theremin concerto ever written. There's a lot of competition, right? Well, you have to hear it. If you don't know Warshaw's work, well, there are other works here that you can enjoy as well. Responses from 2016 and Camille's Dance from the year 2000. She was born in 1974. She's an American composer with an Israeli name, kind of. And I really enjoyed this work. The thereminist is Carolina Eyck, possibly the world's greatest thereminist at the moment. Now, the reason there aren't that many theremin concertos, or at least that we know of, is because there is no standardized theremin. I actually used to own one. I had the Moog Theramini. It was a small one, and it was fun. It was fun. It had a little control. You could set it to make a billion different sounds, and you'd plug it in, and then you'd calibrate it by leaving your hands a certain distance from its main modulator thing. And then once it got itself in order, you just sort of walked by it and it would go whoop, or you do this and it would go. It's really fun. It's a haunting and wonderful sound to imitate the siren song of Greek mythology. It's a big work in 3 movements. Now Warshaw's style, her particular compositional style, is similar to, well, the composer who most comes to mind is Alban Berg of the 3 Pieces for Orchestra, sort of the early Berg expressionistic style. It's not particularly tonal. There's a high level of dissonance, but it's not hard to listen to. It's very rich. It's very lush. There's a lot going on in it. And there are all kinds of things like harp glissandos and that kind of stuff to enrich the texture. And it works wonderfully well when you're doing a theremin concerto. Oh my goodness. The music is really, really haunting. The 3 movements have nicknames, which don't help at all. There's Clara's violin, Ulysses, and Flugelhorn. They're explained in here, and I just couldn't care less. I mean, one of the issues with the other works is that there's a little too much explanation, but the music is fun to listen to. The second work on the program is called Camille's Dance. It's a tone poem about the life of sculptress Camille Claudel, who is fairly famous now, but wasn't in her lifetime. She made some sculptures, then she went insane and spent 30 years in an asylum. It is not a happy piece. I'll give it to you right there. It's actually rather glum. It goes on for about 10 minutes and 49 seconds and feels much longer, quite frankly. It has little drifty dance bits followed by kind of depressing bits, and it does rise to a powerful climax and ebbs away. And it'd be like writing a tone poem about Schumann going crazy and spending his life in an asylum. I mean, what do you do with that as a topic, as a subject for musical discourse? I mean, the dance part, okay, that's added there because it really has nothing to do with Camille. I just think there's a certain cognitive dissonance in the whole thing, so that didn't impress me. But the first work, Responses, is very interesting. Now, the Responses are Warshaw is also a pianist. She has a particular affection for the late piano music of Brahms. And so she's taken 3 pieces from his late piano works, opus Opus 119, number 1, Opus 116, number 5, and Opus 76, number 3, and composed completely new works. I mean, they don't really borrow from the Brahms. I mean, or to the extent they do, it's very minimal. It's a little motive or a little thing here or there. And you can listen to the Brahms originals and see if you can detect anything of them in her responses, her spontaneous reactions to those pieces. I didn't waste my time with it because I don't like homework assignments. When I listen to a new piece of music, I really believe it should be self-explanatory. And these are. You may get more out of it from listening to the Brahms originals, but I find I just enjoy them as they are, and you probably will too. Again, they're very rich and kind of what's the word for it? They're busy and lush and full of evocative sounds. You don't get much of a sense of direction in this music. It kind of sort of lays there, but it's beautiful. It really is. It's fun to listen to. It seems to be extremely well played here. And the main work is the Theremin Concerto, which is actually quite long. I mean, it's 28 minutes. It's a big, serious piece for a really strange instrument. And that's the reason to get the disc, quite frankly. And it's superbly played by Carolina Eyck. I mean, Carolina Eyck. Boy, can she play this sucker. And it ain't easy. It really isn't easy. I mean, who knows? You trip, you have to sneeze, you wipe your nose, and all of a sudden the thing goes, whoop! Who knows what's going to happen? So it's really quite something. I enjoyed this disc. I enjoyed getting to know Warshaw's music. I would like to hear more from her, and I think she's a real talent. And this is pretty special. So give it a shot and see what you think. I mean, after all, how many Theremin Concerti are you going to have in your collection? Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.